And we are back. I'll be back in a second, guys. I'm going to play the part of the video again as a introduction. Just waiting for some people to join.
Now, years ago, I never really questioned the theory of evolution, and it is a theory. I had no skin in the game on that debate. I figured I believed in a God, and it just made sense that, there was a big bang. God created all the elements, and through evolution and stages and processes that I did attribute to God and his work, I figured, yeah, this makes perfect sense. Now, this was prior to becoming a Christian and me being a curious guy watching everything and anything on YouTube. I fell on some debates between young earth creationists, so Christians, that believe in a much younger universe and earth. I think it's a little extreme to say 6,000 years, but I think it's also a little extreme to say that we can quantify and we're sure through scientific processes that the universe is 15 billion years old. I assumed that, science obviously wouldn't state that unless they had some hard science that was probably well above my head. I was pretty shocked when I started watching these debates. I found that the scientists trying to defend the theory of evolution really didn't have much substance to debate with.
The canine kind, the coyote, and the domestic dog, and there's the feline kind, which is the cats, the tiger and the kitten, and you've got humankind. So Darwin said there'd be a change of kinds over many years. So could you give me one example of observable evidence of a change of kinds?
So, for instance, the fossil record shows the common ancestors of all carnivores, that cats and dogs were once linked, once united by a common ancestor.
How long ago?
This, I believe, was like 60 million years ago.
The scientific method must be observable and repeatable. So could you give me one piece of observable evidence for Darwinian evolution?
Okay, I would point to, as one great example, is look at the genetics of the stickleback.
What's that?
So stickleback fish are a very interesting collection of species that were recently isolated after the end of the Ice Age.
What do they become?
They're various species of sticklebacks.
They stayed as fish.
Well, of course, human beings are still fish.
Human beings are fish?
Why, yes, of course they are.
Could you give me an example of Darwinian evolution, not adaptation or speciation, but a change of kinds?
These are changes of kinds.
They're still fish.
They're distinctly different fish.
We have thousands of examples.
Can you give me one?
I can give you thousands.
Just one.
For instance, I would say look at Lenski's experiments with bacteria then.
So what do the bacteria become?
The bacteria are still bacteria, of course.
That's not Darwinian evolution. That's not a change of kinds, is it?
It is a change. It is a change in the genetic makeup of the bacteria, but
they're still bacteria. So what do the bacteria become?
A new kind of bacteria.
So it's still bacteria. There's no change of kinds. To summarize, the observable evidence that you give me for Darwinian evolution is bacteria becoming bacteria.
No, it is bacteria acquiring new metabolic capabilities.
You said before that there is lots of evidence for evolution. I just want one observable evidence for Darwinian evolution. No, just one.
But I gave you some. You don't want...
Not some, I want one.
Wait, you don't want that.
I want one. Yes, I do. I'm pleading with people.
You asked me to tell you when I've watched one species evolve into another. Isn't that right?
No, one kind into another. There's 14 different definitions of species. So I want a change of a kind.
When you're talking about kinds or change in families, you're actually talking about macroevolution. You're talking about changes on the level that separates, say, cats from dogs.
Could you give me any examples of Darwinian evolution?
Well, when you say examples of that, then you have to sort of look at over a longer time frame.
When you say change of kinds, you mean the evolution of one species from another or to another? Yes, we have that in action actually in the Galapagos.
Could you give me one instance?
Yes, we have an example from a group of birds called Darwin's finches.
What do the finches become?
They become genetically new and anatomically new, recognizably different
So
species.
they're still finches?
Well, of course, they're still finches, yes.
They're not a change of, there's no change of kind. Darwin spoke of a change of kind. Can you think of any observable evidence for Darwinian evolution where there's a change of kind?
Change of kind. Change of kind. I'm gonna have to think about that one a little longer.
You give me anything that I can see, observe, and test, which is the scientific method for Darwinian evolution, a change of kinds. Test and observe. Could you give me observable evidence, which is the scientific method for Darwinian evolution, a change of kinds?
Okay, I gotta think about it. So you want the evidence of it?
I would say
In fact, it was Kent Hovind, a Christian, that wrapped the noose around it, the neck of the theory of evolution. I mean, he, debate after debate, he made the PhD scientist and biological evolutionary, biologists and stuff like that. He just made them look stupid, and he had really, really actually smart answers supported in the Bible. I was shocked. So I am now a strong proponent of, I would say, intelligent design. I see intelligence all throughout creation. I see symbiotic systems that cannot exist without each other. Then how did these things, one step at a time, one thing first and then the next, how could that happen if many of the systems that we see on Earth, biological, ecological, all the logicals that you want to say, that they need to exist and to come into fruition at the same time? Evolution, the theory of evolution, and even the Big Bang theory still doesn't explain the starting point. It still doesn't explain what was the cause of the Big Bang, what was there before. It doesn't really answer these things, and it certainly does not answer the most important question of how inorganic matter, elements, how this matter can become conscious, that can become sentient. Science has no answers for this. I fell upon...
Are you telling me that this primordial soup, Grandpa is Campbell soup, just by chance, just by natural selection, blind natural luck, that this amazing structure that's just as complex as our most sophisticated gears, probably more. You're telling me that is not designed? That just frickin' happened by nature. Yet when we, with our intelligence, try to make a new food like seed oils, or we try and do this over here, maybe start farming, do it differently. I don't need the grass, give them some corn. Everything screws up. We're so smart. But this complex mechanism, this is in a cell, guys. This is a complex machine, but it's not done by intelligence. The car, it's an intelligent human being. This, it's just blind chance. Because don't forget, nothing created everything.
A extremely interesting article. Slime mold attacks simulates.
All right. That was the introduction. And we are back. All right. We lost half of them, but that's fine. Just eating. Yeah, I didn't eat. It's 10 o'clock at night. It's always gross looking at somebody eat on camera, isn't it? All right. Now I'm going to respond to the messages while I have food in my mouth. Maybe I should have taken this last bite while the video was playing, right? Live and learn. All right, Barb, you better watch this later. I'll know if you didn't. Where's the one where somebody's like, oh yeah, like this one, Lisa B. That man, I almost laughed in some of the food that's left. That man just said, we are fish. Yep. We are fish. And don't forget, Grandpa's Campbell soup. Is there fish with hair? I think Aquaman has hair, right? He's not bald like me. Look at that. Look at how the light beams off of it. Right there. All right. How many people we got here? We got 8. Should we start? How about I post a link? A little invite to my friends. Come on, you bunch of chickens. Who wants to come up? Don't worry, I'll kick you off after 5 minutes. Anybody want to come up? Join me. I'm going to call JD. Yeah, I should call JD and tell him to get on here. He's a smart guy. See? Told you. No one wants to get on. Somebody likes how I chew on camera. My kind of lady. A lot of fish talk. No, G-Legend, you don't. I mean, I did it on my phone. If you're working off your phone, you click the link, and then after you'll pop up in my studio, and then I just click it. You'll see somewhere when you go into the studio if you want your camera on or off. So if you don't want to show your face or something, just turn the camera off. It'll be like whatever icon. Like me, it would be like my profile picture. So no, you do not need a camera. Do we actually have somebody that's going to come on? Hey, look, I'll just continue this for now. So let's get the evolution party started. I'll look in 5 minutes to see if anybody's in the studio. Get a free t-shirt. you get a free t-shirt, the one I wear. So you join, you get a free t-shirt. All right. Guess there's nobody. I won't take it personally. All right. I hope you guys were here for the first part. Let's continue.
Results they do. There are people in here that I imagine would not want a crime to be solved because you wouldn't believe the evidence that was collected by using these methods. These are the methods that evolution uses.
Professors, you have an additional 5 minutes to rebuttal Dr. Hoban's opening statement and to pose question or a question to him.
I am curious about your presentation, which was, I am impressed. The only one I've heard speak that quickly was a Texas auctioneer, but I tried really hard to concentrate and get it off. The Earth was created 6,000 years ago in 6 days by...
So you have to start with an insult. Let's see the substance.
God. I am confused. Being philosophically consistent and being a very honest person, I'm sure you can tell me where God came from. And in addition, once you've told me where God comes from, please try to clarify how you can figure that a spiritual force can have an impact on a material universe to create it. I think that some years ago, we already talked about that kind of thing in philosophical circles at any rate, by posing the question, if angels are made of spiritual matter and a pen is made of material matter and spiritual matter displaces no space, how many angels can dance on the tip of a pen?
What the hell does this have to do with evolution? Yeah, the first genius looked like he was trying to sell books. That's all he was talking about. These books. This book says that. And now this one's like, well, how many angels can fit on the tip of it? Like, okay.
I have a sense of reversal experience here, but please do go ahead.
I love his mustache, though.
Now, I just want to know which
That's
question.
all right. You may take the rest of the...
One at a time. Which one would you like? That was part of the format for the debate. So which
I
question?
want you to fill in the story of the rest of the beginning of the universe. God, spiritual matter, impact on material matter.
Okay. So 2 questions. All right.
Go ahead.
There you go. You there, Margaret?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, cool.
Hi.
Nice to see you on.
Thank you. Good
So-
show.
Oh, thanks. Were you on the one when I'm just driving around with?
No. I came on about 5 minutes ago, and then
Oh.
I couldn't hear anybody, and then I
Okay.
stepped out. Now I'm back in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there's something that went wrong. Like my mom just like called. She's like, "It's black." You guys can see now, right? It's okay.
I see
Yeah,
you perfect.
it's like I got booted out of the studio, and I had to I had to go back in. I'm just
But I
looking.
can't see the chat that's going on. So
No, that's the problem when I'm like on the main screen too, because the way it works, it says share screen. So whatever I put on my screen is what you guys see. So if I want to show like the video, then I can't see the chat. So usually what I do is I put it on my phone. But yeah, so you missed like the first stream, like the first part of it.
the beginning, I got on 23 minutes later. I have down as personal notifications.
Mhm.
Nothing.
That's weird. Yeah, so like what we're basically doing was I'm looking at a debate online with Kent Hovind. He's a Christian, and there's three professors from universities that teach evolution. So all of this started when I'm just a curious guy. I'll listen and look at everything and anything. So this was even before I was a Christian. I was like, oh, like evolution debate and stuff. So I started watching it, obviously expecting the people on the side of evolution to just crush these, stupid creationist kind of thing. And I was shocked because the Christians seemed to make a lot more sense than the university professors. Like they weren't coming out with substance. And so I kept on watching over and over and over, just more debates. And yeah, I find that it's surprising if you watch a lot of these things, you'll believe. I find intelligent design makes way more sense. But when I first started watching it, I had no nothing in the game for it. Like I was like, okay, God created over a long period of time, evolution, sure, I had nothing against it, but I started to go more on the side of intelligent design, that something of intelligence has designed this because things are so complex and symbiotic and stuff. What's your thoughts? Like, are you more on the evolution side? Are you more on the creation? What's your point of view on this?
I don't believe that there's a missing link.
Okay.
And
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I don't believe that we're from fish.
Yeah, I know. That's like a professor. These are university professors. It's like, well,
It says, excuse me, I still have that cough. The Bible says that he created Adam from the earth and breathed life into him.
Yeah.
That's why we all animals and us, we have the same or almost the same DNA because we're from the earth that he created.
Yeah. So it's like my analogy is like, hey, look at a car, look at an airplane, look at a lawnmower. It's like they're completely different. They have completely different purposes and intentions, but yeah, they have similar parts. There's a wheel on a airplane. There's a wheel on my lawnmower. They're completely different kinds. One's a plane, the other one's a lawnmower, the other one's
Right.
So he just uses parts differently, like Legos or something, but they look at it and they're like, oh wow, look how close we are. We must be. It doesn't. I don't think I'm on the same side as you.
And then in school, I remember the teacher telling us that our ears originally were our gills. And I was flabbergasted because at that time I didn't know how to swim.
That's hilarious.
And then when I would ask questions, I was hushed or ignored.
Well, yeah, for
I
sure.
put my hand up and she'd say, "Put your hand down." I'm not talking.
You're asking important questions. Put it down. No,
Yeah.
I remember at one point I was like, okay, like I wasn't even questioning evolution. I was like, well, the scientists, they say it's true, and it's like, okay, it is kind of believable, if you think about it. And I was always like, well, then what are we going to evolve? Like, how are we going to change it, in 1,000 years or something? Like, what are we going to evolve into? It just never made
So
sense.
what bothers me, yes, we are evolving, but we're evolving to kill each other. We're not evolving to help one another. That really
Yeah, we're
kind of
evolving. We're evolving. It's because of mankind's fallen heart, so it's like we're definitely headed down the road to hell. That's what the Bible says, right? Especially at the end, like how they explain people will be lovers of themselves, unholy, cold-hearted, and it's prophetic. And you can see the degeneration of society at the moment. And I don't want to talk too much about it, but
Okay, I have one question for you.
yeah, go ahead.
A personal question.
Yeah.
You work at a hospital. You work with sick people, dying people.
Yeah.
At the end of your shift, how do you unpack all that?
Unpack it. Okay, I don't know if it would be the same. Let's say if I worked at the children's hospital, that I think would affect me. But no, like I mean, when I'm at the hospital, it's a spiritual thing that I'm doing. There's that passage where Jesus says, when I was thirsty, you gave me water. When I was in prison, you visited me. And like the apostles are like, Lord, when did we do that to you? He goes, the way you treat other people, that's how you're treating me, So at the hospital, I'm always, in my head, that passage. A lot of the ICU, we don't work at a trauma center, so like a lot of our patients are just really old, and family members don't want to let them go. So it's kind of like not what you would think. It's old people that shouldn't be intubated. They should be palliative. Often the families. That's what's actually hard. The families that don't want to let them go. They're on ventilators. And then we're pumping them with all kinds of meds to maintain blood pressure. They're on a dialysis machine. They got like tubes in every possible orifice. That's what's upsetting is when we have to continue something instead of allowing a natural process to occur. Just, give them narcotics, give them some sedatives so that they're not short of breath and not in pain and they can fall asleep. It's, that's the way things should be. But nowadays with all of the modern advances, in a way, it's like I find that's what's more sad. Now, if I worked at the children's hospital, I think that would really affect me. But
Yeah.
It's like I know that all I have to do is my job, and I really don't get nervous in situations because I'm confident with my skills. I know what I'm doing. All I have to do is my job. The next thing, it's not up to me if they live or die. I do enjoy, and I find a lot of satisfaction in talking with the family members, because some don't, they're just like, hi, I'm the respiratory therapist. I'm just going to check some stuff. And then, off they go. They're not really sociable and stuff like that. I'm always putting myself in the family's position. And I really enjoy that. Like giving them, because I've gone to the hospital and it's like I was treated badly and stuff like that. Like staff weren't nice and stuff like that. And it's the worst situation to be vulnerable in the hospital. You don't even got your underwears. And it's like, and then you're being like treated by cold-hearted people and stuff like that. So I've experienced that. So I'm always just as attentive to the family members. A lot of people like, oh, thank you, doctor. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. It's like, no, it's like we should be thanking the patients, because I think I mentioned that once in the chat. Like there's no greater honor than being able to serve somebody in their most difficult and vulnerable times. And that's a lot of trust. and that I should thank them for trusting, so I find a lot of times it's like there's so much praise, it's like, no, like the patient too, it's a relationship that you're developing and stuff like that. But I mean, when I was in anesthesia, we used to be the first responders for neonatal resuscitation and stuff like that. Yeah, I did a lot of babies like cardiac arrest and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
What would happen is, it's cardiac arrest because let's say they come in, right? The cord or something is tied. There's deceleration, so they come up all floppy. So there's something called secondary apnea. So a baby will make efforts to breathe, and then after there's this second apnea that occurs where you can't like rub them, you can't like get them to stimulate. You need to bag them and stuff like that. Most of the time, like the more stressful it becomes, the more calm I become, and I'm at the head, so I'm like kind of the lead. It's me and the nurse working. It's not that I'm the boss or something, but at the head, you're the one that's asking for the next steps. So the worst thing is while the crap's hitting the fan, to be like, give me that. No, hurry. It's set. No, because the other person's gonna be like, going around. Yeah. So the more serious the situation would get, I'd just be like, oh, by the way, just the second drawer. Yeah. Can you, and you just talk calmly because you'll get the stuff faster. Then when I leave, walking back, I go to the bathroom and all of a sudden I'm red and blotchy, like red, like histamine release. So I guess the adrenaline and the focus, there's no real emotion. Or some people, if you have emotion while you're doing it, you're not doing a good job. And there are healthcare professionals like that. They just amp up and you're like, what are you doing? Like that energy just goes through the whole freaking thing. It's like, stay calm, do your job. It's like me going, oh my God, how can somebody fly a plane? It's like, it's your job. Eventually it's like one step at a time. But I don't know if that would be the same with children. Like I've had a few like children drowning and stuff like that. Again, focused, but yeah, I've teared up. It's actually like I saw one drowned kid, and like I'm ventilating, and I was just kind of like, I had like imagine like what if this was like I came and I saw Josiah, like my son. It was a thought, and I was like, oh. But what makes me cry, like I tear up, isn't doing the cardiac arrest and seeing the dead baby. Oh, it's seeing the family once he's dead come in, these children. That there's a very specific screech.
I lost my daughter in 91.
Okay.
3 weeks before her sweet 16, she had a brain tumor. It was lodged in the middle of the hemisphere of the brain.
Wow.
And they couldn't operate because it's right there on the bridge,
Yeah.
That was really rough.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm sure that's rough.
And then my husband in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still angry with him. So, junk food, pizzas, salamis, 2-liter Pepsis a day.
Oh no!
And a family-sized bag of chips. And then I'd come home from work and start preparing supper, and he tells me I'm not hungry. Of course, he's not hungry. He just ate all this trash food.
Yeah.
He ended up with diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. Then he had a stroke in 2005, which from the crown of his head to his eyebrow, and it damaged his frontal lobe. So I went through hell with that because it changed personality.
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought of it.
Then colon rectal cancer, and then it just spread.
All from modern food, the way you eat. That's really sad because, I mean, the ketogenic diet, could have really helped him because my father died, but I consider him my father, my stepfather. He had the same thing. His doctor loaded him on so many psych meds. He doesn't even have psychiatric issues. I think it started with he had like restless leg syndrome, and he gave him gabapentin, and that's supposed to help. And that's an anticonvulsant, but it reacts on GABA receptors, kind of like alcohol. So that started with that. There's a small dose for that. If it doesn't work, then stop the med. He like tripled and quadrupled it. And this stuff can make you feel actually drunk. So he was on that. Then he got depressed. So then he put on one antidepressant, then another one. Then he couldn't sleep. Then he had some Ativan. Then they gave him Seroquel. The guy was a zombie, and he was on statins. And what doctors don't realize for this to lower your LDL, statins can cause depression. It plays with LDL, lowers it, and LDL transports cholesterol to your brain, and 20% of your brain is cholesterol. 60% is fat. It's mostly cholesterol and fat in your brain. So when you take medications that lower cholesterol's ability to be transported, it can cause depression. So he was, he was fat. He had hypertension. He had to like stop early his work, like disabled. And I'm like, what the hell's this guy's not has no psychiatric.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm like, he's in his 60s. All of a sudden now he needs 5 psych med. So I was like, your doctor's crazy. So we weaned it all off slowly, one at a time. And he started the ketogenic diet. He stopped the statins, and he had hypertension. So the reason that people have hypertension is, think of it. You're eating junk food. So there's all kinds of, who knows, like I'm eating junk food too in a way. I'm eating one of those salamis you're talking about. But you know what I mean? There's all sorts of elements that are in this packaged food. You're eating way too much glucose. Glucose is energy. You don't need it. If you're getting fat, you should be doing something to access the fat, like fasting. And what happens is you have fluctuations in glucose. That's not good. You have high insulin levels. Insulin is high levels is very irritating to the vessels. You have all of the junk food has omega-6 seed oils. So now you're oxidizing yourself. You're probably cooking with and putting margarine and cooking with oils and stuff like that. So what happens is inside of your vessels, you have inflammation. So the vessel walls are damaged and they're getting puffy. So it's normal. If I have 5 liters of blood and there's a certain pressure, and now it's narrowing, it's getting smaller because it's all puffy inside. Well, what do you think the pressure is going to happen when you go like this? Your blood pressure goes up. So then they say don't eat salt, because salt causes hypertension. So the reason, and it does cause hypertension in this specific situation. So think of it now. You have that puffy, narrowed vessels. So now you have, because of the inflammation. When you ingest salt, water always follows sodium. So you have the inflammation. The cause of the inflammation is all what I said: the glucose, the insulin, the oxidation, all that garbage. But then you eat salt's in your bloodstream now, and it sucks water through. So what happens is it causes hypertension because you get more water in your blood. So now there's more volume. So obviously you're pushing more volume into it. The blood pressure skyrockets. It's not a cause. So if you eliminate the glucose, or I'm not saying everyone has to like avoid glucose like poison, but if you're having issues, avoid it. So stop the glucose, eat what you're made of, animal food, protein and fat. You'll get all the nutrients that you need through animal food. You're avoiding all those Crisco instead of lard, margarine instead of butter.
That was invented to lubricate the submarines. The Germans invented that.
The oil was an industrial lubricant, and then they're like, why don't we make them eat it? We can make money on it.
Yeah.
So this happened in the early 20th century, and so if you avoid all that, your vessels heal, and then it opens up again. So now your blood pressure returns to normal. And then if you eat salt, when you're avoiding carbohydrates, the high insulin level says to your kidneys, retain salt. So the salt you have to limit it because it's hanging around, it's not going out. But once you stop eating carbs, your insulin level goes really low. Now there's no signal to hold salt. So now you're eliminating salt. And now on a ketogenic diet, you actually have to eat salt normally. All our ancestors ate salt. Okay, Indians, a lot of the preservatives was highly salted foods. That was their only preservative. They were not dying. They didn't have hypertension. It is a biochemical reaction that the food industry knows. For some reason, the doctors aren't scientists, eh? Like they learn a specific, specialty. They know their biology and so that. They don't know all of these things. They don't know nutrition. The people that know it are the big food. They know that if you restrict salt, eventually your body, because it's an essential mineral, will crave it. And where is salt? It's always in junk food. So then all some people are like trying not to eat junk food, and before you know it, they're like, oh. So then after they start eating junk food, low sodium increases addictive behavior. So this is what I'm talking about when we talk about all of the social sciences. Social sciences now is the science of how to manipulate the mass and make them do what you want to do. And social science is that's what it's at. So big pharma understands chemistry. Big corporations, food corporations, they know exactly how to adjust micronutrients and macronutrients to make you constantly hungry. So that was like my red pill moment. When I started the keto, I lost a lot of weight, and I'm the kind of guy that never goes into something ignorant. So I was like, I'm doing keto, I'm learning everything. And I was going and I was shocked, and I was very frustrated. So I'm like, there's corruption everywhere. Everything's a lie. Like, it's really upsetting, actually. And it's upsetting to see fat people that are sick. I'm walking around and I'm like, initially, that's why I did my channel, because I was like, it was like I found like a secret power, and I wanted people, because a lot of
awaken everyone, or those that come on.
I still do. It's like, you call me, we'll do a FaceTime. I'm not charging. I want to change one life at a time with keto, and the science is solid. Yeah, everyone's brainwashed. Oh no, God, you should eat more plant-based. Oh, I limit my meat now, and I don't have too many eggs, and oh no, fat's bad. Like, but I do use a bit of olive oil. So it's very upsetting, and I look at very, very like the population is fat, so a lot of the patients are fat. One patient, the only reason that he's going to die and not get out of the hospital, spends time intubated in ICU, goes up on the floor, crashes and burns, come back, we do it, rinse and repeat. And he's not that old, the guy, but he's so fat. And what are we doing? We have like a feeding tube, we're just pumping in the mix, which is like Ensure. You look at that, so there's fructose in there. It's garbage. And they're constantly feeding them. And the doctor that I'm doing 2 research projects with, I got to get those published. I'm like already thinking of the next like research project. But knowing what I know about fasting, the catabolic process, the healing process that can occur, and how to access fat stores. You have these morbidly obese patients with really high BMI. Don't feed them. They're already under sedation. Sedate them with propofol. Give them lipids, because we do have the lipid mix, which I think the mix is not good at all. But anyways, you can give them fat. Propofol as a sedative. Give them fat, and just put them a bag of minerals and vitamins. No food. That won't break your fast, and they're sedated, and just fast the shit out of them. Just keep on going. We're testing electrolytes. There's no danger. And we could literally reverse diabetes in critically ill patients intubated with some kind of serious disease. If they have diabetes, we could reverse it. This issue, the first organ to go kaput when you're very ill is the kidney. It's very vulnerable. The kidney is always the first one to go into renal failure when you're starting to get multi-system organ failure. So if we did the ketosis and the fasting, this salt thing that I was talking to you about creates a natural diuretic effect. Remember, I said you don't hold the salt, so you eliminate it. So if you're eliminating salt and requiring regular salt, that means that you're peeing more. And what we often give is Lasix to these patients to stimulate the kidney to push out water. And I'm saying to myself, I bet you that these patients, if they're in ketosis and fasted, they would naturally diurese. I have a very strong suspicion that all of that inflammation you see in ICU patients, their hands are swollen. Oh my God, they're so swollen. They just retain water. Fasting these critically ill patients, I think, could really be a huge leap. I think that it would like be crazy, the results. But I'm going to talk to the physician because I'm not a physician. I just have the ideas. But I'm going to ask him and be like, look, why don't we try this? Like, on a patient, we could even try it to patients that are not intubated, just they're there with congestive heart failure or something. You're like, hey, are you willing to try this process? I think that'll really change if I could convince the doctor. But that's that. Yeah, you have to go through ethics committee and stuff like that.
And their egos.
Hey.
And their egos.
Yeah. Well, this guy is he really likes me, and like I kind of have him on my twisted around my finger. So it's I mean, he's given me a great opportunity. Like I come up with the ideas, but I'm not a doctor, so it doesn't matter if I have good ideas. It matters if you're a physician, or else you can't really.
What hospital are you at?
Hey?
What hospital are you at?
I don't want to say the exact hospital, but it's in the Montreal region. It's not
Delete
like
that.
Well, like I used to work at McGill University. So McGill's a pretty big hospital. It's like world renowned there. Like it's very prestigious. So I worked at the McGill University Health Center. I never went to McGill. There
I went for an operation and tube ligation.
Yeah.
And I woke up in the middle of the operation because I had Dr. Cook. I don't know, W.A.R. Cook.
Okay.
And I heard him saying, I can't find the other one. And I said to him, well, tell me what it looks like and I'll help you find it.
Yeah.
And then he said, knock her out again.
Yeah.
So when I went to visit for a follow-up, I told him, he says, yeah, you're really nosy.
That's crazy. I remember one because I have 23 years experience, but 16 years of that was actually not in the ICU or ER. I did anesthesia. So I'm not an anesthesiologist, but we can intubate, give medications and stuff. We're just like, we don't have complete autonomy. So one of the anesthetists, she's a lovely lady, but she's so like eccentric and awkward, but a beautiful person. And I guess this patient had come for an operation and had come back for something. So when she's putting the sleep, she's like, okay, I'm putting you to sleep. She's like, you're going to fall asleep. I hope you don't come back. And I'm like, she's like, oh, no, I didn't mean that. She just meant, I hope you don't come back for another surgery. It's like, yeah, I know, but it was the wrong way. No, there's some funny stuff that goes on during surgeries.
So I'll sign out now in case somebody else wants to come on. And I saw your wifey in the background. Maybe she wants to go to bed too. It's 11 o'clock. So.
Yeah, soon. She's doing a lot of the Christmas stuff, so she gave me permission. I did ask.
Well, I enjoy your channel. It's really enlightening.
Thank you. All right.
And your keto, just one more thing, and then I'm going, honest.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you don't eat carbs, like no bread, no potatoes?
Okay, so I did it very, very seriously, like 3-4 years ago. The last 6 months, just so much stuff's been happening, and even like I'm off and on it and stuff like that. So I put on probably a good 15 pounds that I need to lose. So I if you look at one of my old videos here, just before you leave, then I'll look at, and this wasn't long ago.
I'll skim through your.
Here, let me show you. This is not long ago, and I'll just pop it up because you can see I'm a lot leaner. And this is 5 months ago. Okay, just give me a sec. I'm gonna share screen. StreamYard. Okay, so well, I mean, I have a beard too. It makes you, but this is now about. I have like 15 pounds more than usually I would have with keto, but 5 months ago I did strict carnivore. So for 1 month, all I ate was pretty much pepper steaks, and I lost 13 pounds in 32 days. So you can use keto. You don't have to always be on it, but as long as you understand the chemistry of how to lose weight, you can do, as much as you want. Oh, I want to lose, like, oh, I got 5 pounds coming up. Okay, I'll do 3 weeks a keto and go back and forth. I'm not against like vegetables and stuff like that. Just a minute, G Legend, I'll let you on. I just want to show you this one. You guys can see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so here, just a minute. So I don't know if the angle's bad.
Vegetables, fruit.
Here.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot leaner. That was like 5.
Wow.
So, and then when I was doing it really seriously, because I've been eating crap and stuff like that. Here it was like just 1 month getting back. I look tired as hell on this one, but if you look, some of my initial videos, I had before and after pictures. Let's see if I'm lucky and I can catch it. Okay, so well, this is definitely one picture there. You see, this was me and my scrubs, and this was probably changed from there to there in probably like 4 months or something. No, yeah.
Right.
So let me see the start. Stop spinning.
Wow.
No, I changed really, really quickly.
Wow.
Yeah. You almost look younger too. Like when you stick to like strict keto, and keto isn't necessarily bombarding yourself with fat. Like think of it. It's like, look, eat animal food. Okay.
Yeah.
Eat as much as you want till you're full. If you want to have vegetables on the side, go ahead. Just don't make them starchy vegetables. So
Okay.
eat vegetables all you want. Have some almonds, nuts, but just watch out, not too much because they do contain carbs. So you have to avoid the rice, grains, legumes, and that's pretty much it. Your carb source, pasta and stuff like that. So you can have like as many steaks as you want, eat as much cheese as you want, have as much shrimp and in butter as you want. And what naturally happens is it's so satiating, right, that you end up not gorging yourself. Initially, you might be hungry, and then after a while, you're eating a lot less, but you're not hungry. But everything that you're eating is building blocks for your body, because the fat is a building block. You need it for hormones. You need it for your brain. You need it for all sorts of stuff. And it can be used as a gasoline. So this fat will not go in the wrong place. But if you add carbs to the fat, well, now it's going to try and use the carb first, because the blood sugar goes from 4 grams up to 40 or 100 or 200. So it burns that. But it's not because it's a preferred fuel. And anthropologically, it's completely not the way we would have eaten. Even the fruits that were the original fruits, they were fibrous. There was not a lot of sugar in them. These have all been GMO'd. Then if you want to call it carnivore, there's people that just say, screw the whole plants. I don't care. And you just stick to whatever. Some call it carnivore, like just steaks. I'm not calling it just steak. Just eat animal food as much as you want, and you'll lose weight. You'll never be hungry, and you'll naturally start like going 24 hours without eating once a day. You'll be able to fast if you have ailments that the doctors can't help with you. You start with a day fast, then eat, normally, and then a 3-day fast. And you always break the fast when you don't feel anything but great. And then your body gets used to extending it. So you need to get into this keto so that you can apply fasting, or else it's almost impossible. Go eat carbs and then try and not eat for 2 days. You feel like you're dying. So you have to, you have to be in a ketosis state, meaning burning fat prior to your fast. Then you ease right into it. I was doing doubles. I was working and doing like double shifts, and people like, that do Ramadan, you watch them, they're always like, oh, doing Ramadan, I'm so tired. Oh, and you're like, yeah, because you're gorging yourself with
starches,
with tons of carbs after the sun goes down. So, I had even put, anyways, you should look, guys, at these. My station was so small. Look at this. 3 years ago, only 47 views, like I get this now in one viewing, but I put a crap ton. These are all edited. They all have, popped up images and stuff like that. Listen, I'm going to let, I forgot about, here you go. You don't have to go either. You just add. Hey, Legend. You hear me okay?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. How
I
are
hope
you?
my mic is not messed up. I'm good.
Hey.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Is this the first time you come on the channel?
No, I've been on the channel for a while. I've been following Garland Farms.
Yeah.
But however though, he made a video
You should
about video too, and I went there and he said like watch the live stream, and I just like wow, you agree with a lot of stuff that I actually like believe in, and then I started watching your channel and realized that you're a man of God, and also too that you're a professional when it comes to like medicine and health. And when I start actually like listening to your stuff, like I fully agree with you. Like it's hard for me to disagree with you.
Oh, that's great. I'm sure we'll find something eventually, but yeah, like, there's so much craziness going outside in the world and our culture and society. It's it can get really depressing and stuff. So once in a while, if you can like be in a community with like-minded people, and you're like, okay, I'm not the only one in the world, because there's so much, you go out in the day and it's just, crazy.
Yeah, because you're afraid to talk to someone because you'll be judged. But when you talk to someone, it's like, you know what, I feel like you. But the thing is, I'm just glad that everyone doesn't agree, because if everyone agree with everyone, then that means we're a robot and we don't have the ability to rethink
exactly.
or have personalities.
Yeah. Garland Farms, same thing. I agree with every single thing. But then when it came to the vaccine and stuff like that, he was more along the lines that it was over exaggerated, well, which it was in many ways. But like I worked in the ICU, so I was like, no, like the initial strain actually was doing something very specific, and he didn't believe me. So he texted me after, and he's like, I hope hope you're not offended. I'm like, no, it's okay. I said, we don't have to like agree with everything and stuff like that. I'm fine if but yeah,
No, I agree with you, but you're a medical professional. I'm just like I do study like stuff that medical professionals like you and other people say, but I had the COVID 6 times.
Yeah.
So basically, I never had a needle in my body once. But the thing is, like I always like my body healed back naturally. Like I got sick, but it was nothing dire.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of older people too. It was really weird. Like, it's like, oh, the older people that have comorbidity. Yeah, well, some of them had no symptoms. It was really, really odd. I should let
Okay,
me
well,
check. I'm gonna text Garland Farms, see if he wants to pop on.
okay. Well, once
Go
you
ahead.
do that, I just want. Once you do that, I just want to say that I don't believe in like sticking random needles in me because I believe my immune system could deal with my body. So I had
Yeah,
the COVID 6 times, but
yeah,
however, I always get it from someone who had get the
the jab.
vaccine.
Yeah,
Yeah, the jab. Basically saying that like, oh, I'm immune from it. It's like you're not immune from it. All you're doing is building your immune system to not get sick from it, but you still harboring the virus. So when
yeah,
people are just like in a community where they don't take the vaccine and they travel around there, and then people start getting sick, they blame them for not taking the vaccine. And then people get scared and say like, I'm the reason why the vaccine still exists. It's like, no, we try to do herd immunity.
yeah.
So,
No,
and also too,
go ahead.
sorry.
No, no, I
Yeah,
said
and
go ahead.
also too, I heard cases that people actually who got the vaccine have to get boosters vaccine. So it's basically nothing more than an epidemic of people who have like who have to take the yearly flu shot to protect them.
Hmm. No, like
When it was
there's nobody that can tell us, oh yeah, like the studies are out, every 6 months getting a jab, you're on your fifth and sixth, no problem. We know exactly what's going to happen 5-10 years from now.
hmm
We can't. And like just Google, like just look up on like official sites how long, like go on the FDA, how long does it take for a new medication to be tested, like to come to market. It's like they say it varies a lot, but like you see 10, 15.
I'm not sure because people so people who actually like wheel out these vaccines, they will basically have to say something like, "We don't have time to wait because people are dying." And it's like, okay, which demographic is like it doesn't matter. It's like if you don't take the vaccine that you hate human beings and you want to kill everyone, and just like, wait, hold on, relax. People might be immune to it or not. You can't just like start like forcing people to get sick against their will. I don't know if you can hear me. Hello?
So you guys don't hear me right now? All right, guys, do you hear me now? All right. Put okay, you hear me? Yes? Okay. I'm gonna put the link. Stop sharing. Okay. Give me a thumbs up just to make sure that you guys hear me now. I'm gonna send an invite again. It could be the invite. It could be like having people on too. Maybe it stresses my internet connection or something. I don't know. Where's Ilias? Okay, good. Thanks, Green Ghost. All right. Puis, t'as fini de travailler?
Oui, je suis arrivé à la maison. Hey, j'ai un délai, t'arrives en double.
Hein?
You're in double in my headphone.
Oh, am I? Je m'ai fait enlever à un moment donné. Là. Toi, t'es dans quelle région?
Montréal.
Ah, ok, t'es proche, là.
Yeah.
Ah, cool. Moi, j'ai resté à Montréal, à Atwater, juste à côté, dans le camp, l'hôpital des enfants.
C'est
puis...
annoying, mon chum.
Hein?
It's annoying. Tout ce qu'on se dit, puis qu'est-ce que tu me dis, je l'entends live, puis il se répète 10 secondes après.
Oh non. Attends une minute.
Attends un peu.
Peut-être c'est moi.
Essayer de trouver.
T'as-tu le volume sur YouTube dessus?
Non, mais j'ai mon OBS d'ouvert, je vais le fermer.
Because you have to mute. Let's say if you were watching my stream and now you're in it, you have to go back to YouTube and put mute on it. You back, G Legend?
Puis toi, tu me vois.
Yeah, if you can hear me, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I can hear you. Good. Yeah. There was I don't know, like it kicked me out or something. So I literally had trouble. It was like something went wrong, and I'm trying to get back into the studio. I couldn't. So sorry if it booted you out.
No, you didn't boot me out. I think it's
Je vais sortir, Jason.
De quoi?
Je vais sortir puis je vais rentrer.
Okay. All right. Legend, you don't hear it in double or anything? There's no like echo or anything?
For me, it's not.
No, okay. No, I just want to make sure. I think because the other guy was saying it was kind of like talking and then double talk, but I think it must be because like when you're watching it, you have volume, but then when you enter here, now you're talking, so sometimes it can sound double. Here, I'll bring them back. Okay, fait que c'est-tu en double?
Ben oui, je chante encore en double.
Y a-tu quelque chose dans les settings? T'as-tu comme en bas, là, ça dit Leave Studio, Invite? Dans les settings, maybe?
Oui, j'ai Leave Studio avec un petit piton.
Ouais, va peut-être au audio, Echo Cancellation. Si tu vas dans les settings, tu vas voir General Camera Audio. Make sure that there's a check mark sur Echo Cancellation. Tu vois-tu? C'est comme qu'on est sur un trip d'acide ou...
Ben, je vois les check marks, c'est correct. Mais je capote.
C'est bizarre. Ça m'a déjà fait, mais d'habitude, c'était...
I have myself muted, by the way, so if there's an echo, it's not on my end, so I'm going to mute myself again.
Yeah, no, me and you, it's no problem. Elias, he's French, so everything becomes difficult with the French guy,
Non, ben, I understand when you talk.
Ouais, non, je t'agace. Fait que quand tu as été dans les settings, est-ce que tu as vu sur audio? Est-ce que tu as pesé? Parce que si tu pèses setting puis tu t'en vas audio, tu vas avoir une affaire qui dit Echo Cancellation. It says, do not turn this off unless you have a high quality microphone and wearing headphones.
Ouais, il est coché.
OK, il est coché. Bon.
Yeah.
Il n'y a pas grand-chose d'autre que je peux... that I can guess. I see you perfectly.
Là, I put the camera, mais c'est the audio.
Ah, c'est plate en maudit.
OK. I'm trying to... Non, mais je vais enlever des écouteurs un peu.
Yeah, maybe that'll work.
Là, tu m'entends-tu?
Ouais, moi, je t'entends.
OK. Là, c'est moi qui... Là, je t'entends pas pantoute. Attends un peu. Oh.
Ouais, moi, je t'entends.
Je l'entends, mais avec un délai.
So you can hear me?
I got delay. You can talk both of you.
I don't know. The other guy just left.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't know. The other guy just left.
Oh, he's left. I scrapped the show.
Hey, il y a vraiment un délai. J'entends ce que je dis à peu près.
Scrap the show.
3 minutes après. Hey, il y a vraiment un délai. J'entends ce que je dis à peu près.
Ah, you heard what t'entends chez nous, là?
Yeah.
Ah, you heard what
Là, t'es sûr que ton YouTube, il est pas si mieux?
Just like I think 2 acid cap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like an acid trip.
No, I think the thing is he's using OBS and he needs to mute the OBS when he's recording because it's going to echo. So anytime he talks, it's gonna bounce back to what we have and it's going to bust to him and it's going to echo. So he needs to like mute his OBS because it sounds like he's recording.
Hello.
Hola.
Nothing?
Hola.
Ah, il y a quelque chose vraiment mélangé avec
OK, je vais ressortir, je vais rentrer, peut-être juste parce que j'ai changé les paramètres pendant que j'étais là.
Ouais, on peut essayer.
OK, je vais ressortir.
I think what he needs to do is turn off his OBS settings to not like I think he has like accidentally recorded. So basically he has to turn on the settings in his OBS that has the settings for like recorded because if not it's gonna echo.
Yeah, I know. Like he said that he has I don't know. It's weird because like look, I'm talking with you and I don't hear you, like I don't hear myself coming back through the screen.
Yeah.
I don't hear you, like I don't hear myself coming back. Non, c'est ça, on n'est pas supposé de je suis pas supposé d'entendre moi-même. Non, c'est ça, on n'est pas supposé de oui. Comme moi, quand je parle avec l'autre gars, il n'y a pas de problème. Moi, je m'entends.
C'est juste quand tu parles avec moi.
Ouais, il y a un setting là, qui est pas correct. Je sais pas c'est quoi.
C'est juste quand tu parles avec moi.
Ouais, il y a un setting là, qui est
OK.
pas correct. So, what are you thinking about this? Were you watching Legend? This debate between evolution and creation.
Yeah, the problem I have.
What are you?
So the problem I have is people who believe in basically evolution. They want to categorize us as simians. Based off of like great apes. But the thing is, simians, there's a monkey that you can actually hold in your palm that's really small. That is a simian. And also, too, you have there's a monkey that you actually hold in your palm that's really small. That is a simian. And also, too, you have
la même affaire.
Ouais, hein? J'ai fermé mon Nvidia Broadcast, puis...
La même affaire.
Ouais, hein? J'ai fermé mon Nvidia Broadcast. OK. La shot, je vais plugger mon micro direct dans le téléphone, puis sinon, ben, ça sera une autre fois.
Ouais. Là, tu es sur l'ordinateur. Tu peux le faire par le téléphone direct, hein, juste comme j'ai fait mon live stream. Là, tu es sur l'ordinateur. Tu peux le faire par. Yeah, because like he could just grab his phone, put StreamYard in his email, and then boom, it's fine, you know? Oh, yeah,
I
continue.
believe the issue is that he needs to reset his setup to default on StreamYard, not his whole setup, because he might have a setup for different things, but he doesn't have a setup for StreamYard because it's gonna echo. So he hasn't like tinctured with StreamYard because he has a setup. So if he doesn't have a setup, it's gonna echo. So he hasn't like tweaked his StreamYard.
Yeah. So what? Oh yeah. What were you saying about the
Okay.
evolution? Your view on this, sir?
Yeah, okay. So basically, what they want to say, the people who believe in evolution, is that they class us, that say we are from great apes, and then we're classed as not as monkeys, but as simians. So basically, we have bipedals, we stand up, and also too, we have no tail, and we are simians, just like other um, monkeys or apes that don't have tails. But the thing is, like the difference between human beings is there's simians that can fit in the palm of your hand, and also too, like a gorilla is a simian. But the thing is, we share big difference. Sorry, we share a big difference from multiple supposed simians that are like us. So this is what already disproves evolution, because they want to say a bonobo is related to us, but bonobos are literally not remotely close to the DNA connected to us. So this is why I don't believe in evolution, because there's no such thing as like a great ape that created monkeys, orangutans, and humans. We're just not the same thing, and they always want to lie about it.
I mean, you look at is it like a gorilla and stuff like that? Their digestive tract is completely different. You know, I'm sure you learned that from Garland Farms. You know, talking about like the digestive tracts, because people are like, oh, we're not made to eat meat and just weird stuff like that. You want to listen to a little bit more of this thing for the viewers? You don't have to leave.
No. I definitely want to listen to it, but I know this before Garland Farms, but all he did was just like solidify it, because I already know that there's a big difference between a bonobo and a human being. So I would definitely want to listen to it. So I'll be here and I'll listen to it with you.
I don't hear any feedback. Je pense que ça marche, là.
Ben, je pense que oui, là.
Je sais pas ce que tu as fait. La trip d'acide est partie. Acid trip is done.
J'ai juste parce que, dans le fond, quand je parle de StreamYard, il est dans un autre navigateur, puis j'avais le YouTube dans l'application. Fait que c'est probablement que c'était les
Ouais,
deux
je sais,
ensemble.
c'est avec quelque chose comme ça. Là, there's something. Là, I can do this.
Là, tu t'entends pas chez nous, là. Tout va bien, tu n'entends pas ta voix.
No, c'est parfait. Yeah, it's perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. So, Elias, what you were able to see a bit of the debate between the Christian guy and the three guys, or you
À bit, j'ai pas tout écouté au complet.
Bon, la trip d'acide est revenue. On aurait dû mettre cet écran-là pendant que tu avais le feedback.
But you know what? I want to try something with you, because yesterday I go on the stream of your brother on the Bruce stream, and I talk about my Cayenne and my guitar, and Bruce says that, I want to have a Cayenne before Christmas, and your mothers go with him and buy a Cayenne for him before Christmas and a new guitar. So I want to ask you what you want for Christmas, maybe.
Sorry to cut you off. Because you get closer to the mic, because I can barely hear you.
Ouais, viens plus proche un peu du micro.
Moi?
Ouais, pour voir. Je t'entends, mais...
Ça va être dur. Ma tactique, c'est monter le game.
Ouais. Bring it up a notch.
Mieux?
I can still hear him. It's not as loud as you though, but
maybe I can go in the setting too.
Legend, say something. I just want to compare the sound.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? I like to eat steak.
What? I hear you very well.
Yeah, I can still hear Alias. It's pretty good. Okay, so what's your thought on evolution or intelligent design, Alias?
For me, I'm really passionate by all the ancient culture, like the Anunnaki and all that stuff. So for me, probably DNA. Well, for me, it's for sure, it's not Darwin théorie. C'est pas la théorie de Darwin qui est bonne. I think we play in the DNA strain. Probably another intelligence come here far years ago and play in the ADN of a humankind, a humanoid, a kind of humanoid. J'ai de la misère là, en anglais avec les termes meilleurs en français.
You're doing good.
Moi, je pense vraiment qu'il y a quelque chose qui est venu jouer dans notre ADN. Il y a des chercheurs, des physiciens qui ont checké dans l'ADN, ce qu'on appelle garbage ADN, l'ADN poubelle. On voit très bien que ça sert à quelque chose. C'est pas inutile, c'est pas du DNA poubelle. C'est juste qu'on comprend pas à quoi, puis on sont capables de réaliser que dans le fond, dans notre structure ADN, il y a certains éléments qui ne sont pas conçus pour être sur notre planète, c'est-à-dire qui contiennent des éléments qui ne sont pas sur notre planète.
Okay.
Tout ce qui est everything on Earth, everything we live, biological living being on Earth is made by all you can find on Earth. So you're not supposed to have a strange in your DNA from other world or from space, but human beings got it. Moi c'est ce que j'ai appris.
Yeah, no. So it's like the movie. What's the famous movie about the another like extraterrestrial? You know, he comes, he drinks a vial, and he just like disintegrates. So, do you know that movie? What is it?
Well, I understand a lot of movie. You drink what? And is it's
like,
I think it's a funny movie. You go in the pickup with the guys.
Non. Moi, te le dis en français, c'est basé sur, c'est comme there's a scientist, okay? And they're in the movie, and they're like showing that there's this like symbol, and it's all throughout different cultures.
Oh, Contact.
Not even Contact.
Ils disaient qu'ils ont déjà des pieuvres au bord d'une vitre, là.
No, so they go in space, and they find it, but these people are not nice. So they were like all excited, like, oh, and it's true that those in the movie, the guy put his DNA, and then it mingled with a race of humanoids, and then that became us. And then in the movie, they go in space and they find the place, but these guys are like not nice, like they try and kill them and stuff like that. It's
okay. Now maybe I didn't see it. I would like to give you the title. I want to see it.
No. I'll tell you.
Is a movie called Prometheus?
Yes, the quiet guy. Prometheus.
Yeah, the movie was crazy. Yes,
that's what I'm talking about.
At the end, he's not in space, but he's underwater, like a submarine.
Like you saw that Prometheus? Yeah, it's based on that.
Mutant. C'est une race mutante dans le fond. L'être humain a muté. Oh, yeah. Je l'ai ici en plus, Prometheus.
Yeah, I know. It's a good movie, you know?
Yeah. But you have a lot of movie, or we talk about a real thing like Interstellar. I don't know if I say that in English. Interstellar.
Yeah, Interstellar. Yeah.
You have a lot of physics, quantum physics notion in this movie.
Is that one with Matthew McConaughey? Interstellar? So is it with Matthew McConaughey, that one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
At one point, he's
Interstellar is basically but Interstellar is basically like
dimensional time. Go ahead, you get a roll.
Go ahead, Legend. Legend, c'est plus facile.
Ouais, Legend is more easier for me.
Yeah, your name
no,
is.
I think Interstellar is basically when he had a young daughter, but he was an astronaut, and at the end of the movie, basically, like he traveled into like another dimension, and he be able to see his daughter when he denied her, and he was just crying because his daughter became like one of the smartest person to actually space travel. So I think that's the movie he's talking about.
Because is on near the other sun, the time is not the same that here. So the guys go for, I think it's 40 years in space, but for him it's passe à peine 2 months.
Yeah.
And when he came back, his wife is getting old. I think it's his daughter is getting old. His wife is dead, and he talked a lot about the notion of time space. You know, when the Earth, when you have a mass in space, the time is take away, and that's what you. C'est ça qui fait la forme de notre notion de temps, nous autres. Translate. C'est c'est le temps qui se courbe, l'espace-temps se courbe autour de la masse. Si on s'en va dans un autre système solaire, et que c'est un autre masse, le temps ne se passe pas de la même façon.
Yeah.
C'est ce qui est expliqué dans Interstellaire, dans le fond. Si on était dans un autre masse solaire, probablement que qu'est-ce qui paraît 1 an ou 10 ans pour nous pourrait paraître de 1 mois à cet endroit-là. Ton corps ne vieillirait pas. Ce qui revient à parler de l'ADN, qu'on est supposé vivre pendant 1000 ans. Tu regardes Abraham, Noé, tous ces gens-là, ils sont morts. Je pense que Noé il est mort à 950 ans. En tout cas, c'est ce qui est écrit dans le livre. Dans le fond, si on n'avait pas été joué dans notre ADN, si on s'en va plus loin dans l'histoire des Anunnaki, on voit que, dans le fond, à un moment donné, ils ont demandé à changer notre espérance de vie, de la réduire à 100 ans. Mais si on regarde tous les apocryphes, tout ce qui était écrit avant l'Ancien Testament, les personnages qui sont dedans, ils avaient tous des vies 750 ans, 900 ans, 1000 ans. Alors, c'est ça.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, I mean, you've heard like the whole thing. Like for me, it's I believe in interdimensional more than intergalactic, you know. But the question too is, okay, if there's another species, whatever, you know, that are more evolved and technological, and let's say they came here, they did the DNA experiment, this is what created humans and stuff like that, but like it still doesn't explain who created them, right? Like, do you still have a concept of God? What's your concept of like creation?
Okay, my concept of God is the source of everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a field who gave the notion, the coda, I don't know, say that, donne un code qui permet la structure. When you read at the ancient book, and like in the Bible, he said, in first becomes the word. That's how you say that in English?
Yeah.
En premier vient la parole. If you think of that, the word is a sound, you know, it's a frequency you can, just like music, like everything. So the first thing, the source of all creation for me, for what I know and my research, you can believe in what you want, is a frequency. But that's not explained who is the mind behind this frequency, behind the sound who create everything. And I don't think I have, you know, in the perception we've got in the 3D, and dans le fond, dans la troisième dimension, la perception qu'on a, I don't think we have the capacity to really understand what is behind that sound. What is, because probably we have more than the dimension we can see, we can touch, we know.
Yeah.
just like the sound. You know, we are human, and I take a whistle for the dog. I don't understand. I don't hear anything, but the dog can hear it. So, but the sound exists. So, how many things in universe? How many things in this field of energy? We just can know have the perception of this existence.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's scientific evidence of multiple dimensions. I know that the Kabbalah and stuff like that, there's 10 dimensions. But what I think is that, let's say the creator, right? God, whatever. So you have this being. He creates the earth and the humans and all that. But he is so much more than that. So as far as our relationship with that almightiness, whatever, okay, you're not going to know all of that. You're just going to know him from the relationship he's created. He's tons of other stuff, but this guy decided that I want to do this. I want to make this. So that this part, there's an aspect of this being that we can know, but there's other stuff probably before creation. Who knows? If there's a God, it's beyond time, before space. But I think
if you look at the Bible, you talk about Eloah and Elohim. Elohim is meaning a multitude of God. Eloah is one God. But in the ancient books is always Elohim. So probably you have more than one of the species who are there, who give knowledge.
Like I say, Elohim. If you look at Michael Heiser, he's like an academic, Christian academic, and stuff like that. But like that's kind of like he does unseen realm, a lot of the divine stuff like angels. What he said is Elohim shows up 1,000 times in the Old Testament, but sometimes if you look, there's one that said I saw a spirit coming out from the ground. When that word spirit, it's Elohim. What he was saying is an Elohim is a designation. Ça veut dire que si tu restes, si ton propre place est dans la dimension spirituelle, Elohim. So that's why there's a plurality, but it's not a name, it's just a designation. Like, he's American, Canadian, and at least that's what he said. And Elohim is...
it means they have one more than one.
Ouais, ça veut juste dire que si tu es un Elohim, tu restes dans une dimension spirituelle. C'est pas ici ton propre habitation.
Il n'est pas tout seul, il ne peut pas être tout seul, sinon on n'aurait pas désigné cet endroit-là.
Yeah. Ben c'est ça, on dit, je vais parler comme un chrétien, là, parce que quand même, c'est de cette point de vue que j'ai. Like, on va dire, si tu me regardes, moi puis toi, on est en train de parler, ta parole, OK? Je ne vais jamais te connaître, c'est vraiment ton essence, tout ce que tu as vécu, tout tes... je vois juste ton extérieur, mais oui, mais par la parole, je peux quand même te connaître ton mentalité et ton cœur. On le sait, le monde ouvre leur gueule, tu commences à savoir c'est qui. Fait que c'est pour ça que si tu peux imaginer, on dirait Yahweh, le Vieux Testament, ils prononcent YHYW, là, mais Yahweh, ils prononcent Jéhovah aussi. Fait que cette being-là, OK? Nous autres, on a la parole, on a ça. Mais lui, sa parole, il n'y a pas de voix, c'est un esprit. Fait qu'il va utiliser ma parole pour expliquer qu'il y a quelque quelque chose qui sort de moi. Puis, fait, dans le Vieux Testament, la parole, c'est la sagesse. Parce que si tu regardes dans le sagesse est personnifiée, parle que la sagesse parle c'est féminine, mais ça, c'est pas parce que c'est une femme, c'est parce que c'est comme en français, c'est masculin, féminin. Quand on regarde le Bible francophone, quand on regarde le Bible, c'est une femme. In English too, parce que Hokmah, ça veut dire sagesse. Mais tout ça pour dire, c'est que moi et toi, on est comme un aspect. Tu as l'aspect que je ne vais jamais connaître, mais mon esprit, l'Esprit Saint, c'est comme la pensée de Dieu. Puis la parole, c'est plus comme le cœur. Puis tout. C'est pour ça que moi aussi, là, I know your mind, your heart, but I don't know your whole being. That's the three-part you see in Christianity. Or, you know, so I think that on va partir bientôt, ma femme va se coucher. Mais tout ça pour dire que le Créateur a créé ça ici pour nous. Fait qu'il peut avoir une interaction avec nous. Même s'il y a plein d'affaires qui s'est passées avant qu'on ait créé. Là. Peut-être qu'il a fait 10 000 fois. Là.
Parce que, tu sais, ce qui est enseigné dans, mettons là, le christianisme ou dans quelque chose d'autre, tu as le même enseignement si tu t'en vas un petit peu aussi en sciences physiques parce que tu es capable de comprendre qu'il y a des échanges d'énergie, des flux aussi. Tout ça revient au même. Moi, je ne peux pas dire à quelqu'un ben, tu n'as pas raison ou tu as raison. On a tous chacun notre vérité.
Ouais.
Tu dis la voix du Saint-Esprit, ben, moi aussi, j'ai une conscience, comprends-tu? Puis dans ma conscience, j'ai une petite voix. Puis là, à un moment donné, ben, je te parle avec toi, puis là, j'écoute un peu qu'est-ce que tu fais, comme tu dis. Moi aussi, c'est comme un ressenti qu'on va dire en français qui me permet de déterminer quel genre de personne que tu es. Quand je suis à côté d'une autre personne, puis que je jase avec, puis j'ai des atomes crochus, des affinités, c'est ce langage divin-là, dans le fond, qu'on partage. C'est pas la bouche, c'est pas le mental, c'est pas notre ego. Puis souvent, l'être humain va montrer à l'autre, il va essayer de se représenter dans l'ego de l'autre. Puis l'autre, il fait la même chose, il va le percevoir à partir de son ego. Genre, lui, il est comme ça, lui, il est là, lui, mais chacun de nous, là, le soir, quand on est couché dans notre lit, là, on veut tous la même affaire. On veut tous pouvoir aimer, on veut tous pouvoir se faire aimer. C'est là qu'elle est une essence divine, qui essaie Dieu, qui essaie, peu importe comment tu l'appelles, Yahvé, Jéhovah, Jésus, peu importe, même si tu crois à d'autres, on a tout l'être humain, cette chose-là en commun. On cherche tous à aimer puis à se faire aimer. Peu importe qui. Il n'y a personne qui se couche le soir en se disant « Moi, j'espère que lui va m'aider. »
Non. Yeah, for sure. Well, have anything to say?
Yes, I want to say it because the person in the dark blue shirt, I kind of have to agree with him. Sorry, I'm going really hard. Do you mind muting yourself real quick?
Say it again.
Do you mind him muting himself real quick because I hear an echo.
Yeah, I hear an echo again too. Ça a recommencé, hein?
Can you ask him if you can mute yourself real quick though, because I want to add on what you said earlier.
You know what? Let me just give me a second. I'm going to mute. I'm just going to mute you, Alias, for a second. But okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, what he was saying earlier when he was talking, because I'm not good at understanding what you were saying, but I could kind of understand. He was basically talking what he was saying about the Sumerians. So basically, I wanted to like add on to that. That basically, like the Sumerians is like ancient times. Sumerians will predate Mesopotamia and also to ancient Africa. So yeah, you see, he nodded his head because you know what I'm talking about. So basically, that's what we could go on, and that is not based on atheist belief of evolution that goes into millions of years. Like you don't even real humans were not even remotely around that. How do you know what was around during that times? We actually have somewhat of a date of what human origin is, but we cannot find human origins when people want to say like we've been around for billions of years and the Big Bang, but we actually like say we need to track into what the Sumerians are before Mesopotamia predates, so we can actually find our origins, because like that's the only way to see if like we are actually human beings from another planet, or we actually been here for a long time and we want to know, or we was created. So I don't believe in creationists, and I definitely don't believe in evolution, because evolution is nothing more than a weird version of nothing more than a fairy tale. But at least religious people actually have a semi book and documented evidence of somewhat of our origins. But since all the tragic and floods and people wasn't documenting, and people was in like plagues, wars, and all that stuff, people had books, people was burning books. But we actually have stuff as hardcore as like the pyramids and like the Giza. We actually have religious people actually have like legitimate evidence. People who believe in evolution has nothing. All they have to do is just wish that, ooh, your sky daddy is like whatever. It's just like, yeah, but you believe that we evolved from monkeys from like millions of years ago, and you have evidence. It's like just simply thinking like this.
Yeah,
the reason why.
It's compris, Elias.
Hmm?
The minute.
No, unmute him.
No, that's okay. The most of the thing he said, yeah, I understand. I miss a little part, but.
Ben dans le fond, qu'est-ce qui, I'll say it in French. Dans le fond, qu'est-ce qu'il disait, c'est comme, OK, comme toi, tu as une croyance spirituelle, moi, j'ai une croyance spirituelle. Fait qu'au moins, on a ça en commun. Mais les évolutionnistes, puis tout, là, qui dit qu'il n'y a rien qui a créé tout, puis c'est que on est des poissons, puis c'est toute cette affaire-là, là. Fait qu'au moins, on a tout ça en commun. Yeah. So I just repeated it in French. Basically, I told him, I said, look, we can all have different belief structures or spiritual structures, but at least we have spiritual beliefs, because the ones that don't, that think that we just came from nothing and we're like our grandfather's a fish, like you said, I told them like they have nothing to say, because it develops nihilism. It's like there's no point in life. It makes people do some crazy stuff, you know. Listen,
yeah, and also too, when you're talking about like the Shroud of Turin, we have actual evidence. The Shroud of Turin. We also have like the rubble, Gomorrah, and the other one, I forget what you call. And also too, we actually have evidence.
Golgotha is the place of the skull where Jesus
was. Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also too, we have evidence. We have evidence that there's a lot of people in like old times that were just saying that we actually had like mass flood during around the same time.
Yeah,
so basically, like we have evidence.
Watch this here. Like I don't know if you've seen. Just a minute. It's under live streams. If you go to live streams, I don't know if you saw my Shroud of Turin one. Did you see this one? Oh, did I share screen? Just a minute. Faut que je partage l'écran. On va faire ça de 10 minutes. Parce que ma femme, this one. Did you ever see this one?
Yeah.
The Shroud of Turin?
Yeah.
OK, you saw that one? Ouais. Celle-là, là, Elias, est-ce que tu l'avais vu, celle-là, le Shroud of Turin?
Oui, le Shroud de Turin, oui.
Ouais, c'est ça, là, it was the first thing that really made me go, whoa, you know? I'm like, science does not know how that picture, that image got put. And there's blood, there's DNA, there's all the marks. Science, with all our smart, they want to call it a fraud. They cannot reproduce it. How the hell did some medieval effect? So that really makes me take it very seriously.
Mais tu sais, je crois à beaucoup, En fait, moi, je crois en rien, là, dans le fond. Je le sais ou je le sais pas. Je déteste le mot croire, parce que ça veut dire à 50% que si je donne une chance, ça n'existe pas. Mais je suis conscient qu'il y a beaucoup de faits qui se s'avèrent être vrais. On a des preuves, d'ailleurs, que l'histoire était vraie. C'est juste que les religions ont été créées par des hommes pour manipuler d'autres hommes. À travers souvent les religions, on a initié à partir d'une belle vérité, on a semé des graines de mensonges dedans pour l'arranger de la façon qu'on veut. Si on regarde là, ne cesse la Bible, chacun des apôtres a écrit un évangile. Pourtant, il y en a juste 4 dedans. Et où l'évangile de Marie-Madeleine, où c'est que, justement, Jésus n'a pas parlé de la même façon qu'aux 12 autres apôtres. Il manque tellement d'éléments là-dedans. Puis quand on regarde les histoires, parce que moi, je l'ai lu, là, la Bible, là, puis j'ai lu beaucoup d'anciens ouvrages, où c'est que je peux voir, comme dans le Mahabharata, qu'il y a exactement les mêmes histoires que dans la Bible. Pourtant, ils n'ont pas du tout les mêmes dates. Là. Il y en a un qui est pas mal plus vieux que l'autre. Si on va regarder encore là au niveau des Sumériens, parce que tantôt il parlait des Sumériens, il y a beaucoup d'histoires. Le déluge, il est là déjà. Comprends-tu? Mais pourtant, il est
c'est ça, le déluge. The flood is in many cultures, you know. The one thing, c'est the Gnostic, the Nag Hammadi library. C'est ça, moi j'ai fait, like I was into that because I knew like, maybe this is more real and the Bible is corrupt and stuff. So I went through all of that. But if you look at Gnosticism, parce que ça c'est des livres gnostiques, and I did a whole thing refuting Gnosticism and stuff like that. Within those books, they believe that the creator that created the physical world is evil, and that there's a higher God that is there, and there's no salvation through Christ. It's about secret knowledge. Moi, je suis pas convaincu avec ça, parce que l'affaire que le Nouveau Testament, là, if you talk about the New Testament, okay, well, look, it says that doesn't prove anything. If you go to the Old Testament, okay, which was written thousands of years before, full of different men, the stuff in the gospel, I justify it from there. Because those guys were Jews, and they were coming to realization of what was happening with this Jesus guy being the prophesied Messiah. So that's why they built the gospel. It's founded in the Old Testament. But the Gnostic ones, the Nag Hammadi library, c'est tout partout, man. Un livre, it's one thing. You can tell it's highly Hellenistic, like Plato, philosophy, the Plato. You can see it's mixed in, and then you can see older religion also. Eastern religion is tied in there because it's all about. So I find that I think that the Gnostic gospel are just men. They're philosophizing because everything that the four gospels say, they're not just like making up stuff. The Son of Man, that means something. Daniel 9, there's Son of Man. Then he says another thing, and I don't think that you need 12 writings. These guys realized that at one point they were going to die, and that the story would die with them. C'est à un moment donné, là, c'est la parole, you know, word of mouth, spread it. So I think a couple of them, they wrote down not the whole life of Jesus, mais la fondation, like what do we believe, who is he, and the four are enough. But if you look at the ones like Thomas and stuff, they just don't fit. They plus Eastern. It becomes more very Eastern, and you know.
Hold on. Can you ask the French brother to mute his mic when someone is speaking because we can't avoid the echo?
Yeah.
Like when he's not talking, can he mute his mic? So because there's an
No, I
echo.
can mute
So
him.
if he mute his mic, yeah, because I couldn't really hear. I had to like double listen, and
Yeah,
it's hard
I can
because
mute.
I don't care
Or
if he
maybe
speak a
you
different
can mute.
language. No, because I don't believe in him being muted. But like I'm just saying, like when someone talks, can you mute his mic?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
okay,
like I
yeah,
just
that's all I'm
muted
asking.
him, so there's no feedback, and then I can.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
because it's hard to listen to you twice.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so also too, like I don't care that he speaks French. I could kind
Yeah.
of understand, but it's hard to understand him. But I think we might be like almost the same people. Well, we are the same people, but I could understand like a little bit of what he says,
Okay.
and basically like kind of like figure out what he's saying. So basically, like I would say it that basically based on all the scriptures, on all the tablets and all the everything that we dealt with on Earth, we actually have receipts when it comes to like different versions of what we believe in. When it comes to like Muslimic or like Islamic faith, which is Arabian faith, and just like Christianity faith, and there's
Yeah.
all this stuff. We all intertwine. The thing is, not everyone could have a certain type of knowledge of what happened in a different part of the area where we could all notice that the same thing happens. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
I
like
mean,
I don't want to cut you off, but like
oh, go
can you
ahead, man.
ask him in French so when he's not talking to mute his mic so I can understand a little bit better?
Yeah. Hey, Elias, I can mute you, but can you mute yours if you're not talking?
Yeah.
It's probably better so I don't like so you can actually say something when you want. But okay.
M'entends-tu?
Yeah, I can hear you though.
Ça, j'ai pesé sur mute.
But you can hear me?
No, can you explain to him in French though? Because like when he's not talking, can you mute his mic and listen?
Yeah, he is.
Because
No,
like
no,
if
he's good.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, so I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet, but the thing is, I'm a human being, so I'm have the ability to understand people's different dialect and different language, and I don't agree with that. All people should have the same language or culture. That's what I'm saying. It's just like
No, not at all.
so sorry to cut you off, but I just asked so he could
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
no, I agree with that. Like, I mean, it's like, do you want like a cornfield with all corn, or do you want a lush tropical garden with, all sorts of stuff? I mean, you look at a rainforest, it's not organized, freaking cornfields and soy fields. That's not beautiful at all. I mean, cultures are beautiful. Me, as you know, like I'm a Christian, so I feel that Christianity for me, I'm like, no, that's the truth and stuff like that. But I'm not going to be like, oh no, you're wrong or something like that. It's just like I believe it with all my heart now. I mean, I can't deny that. But like I feel that like the one thing that I find that the Bible gives like authority to it is the prophecies. Like this, there's a lot of stuff like that happened thousands of years ago talking about Jesus. And even if they tried to make a book that accomplished all that, it's almost impossible. And then I see the Shroud of Turin, and I'm like, okay, well, the prophecies are talking about what would happen to him, and now it's like they're like, Jesus is a myth, and I'm like, well, there's the shroud. It has all the damn markings. Science can't figure it out, and it's like to me, it's just like there's just too much. But then I had the personal experience because I did all spiritual paths. I was reading everything, like the Kabbalah, Gnosticism, Eckhart Tolle, Krishnamurti, Yogananda, like everything and anything. I was hungry for it. I was searching. And the Bible, like the Trinity, I was like, that's paganism. That doesn't make any sense. But out of desperation, because I was tired of suppressing my demons, because I knew that it would be bad to express them, but they were there. I was like inside spiritually, I was all fucked up. And but I never expressed it. I wasn't a bad person in respect that I let it all go, but I knew that I wasn't fixed. And out of desperation, just behind here, while full of stuff was happening in my life, I said it. I'm like, God, I've always talked to you. I'm not comfortable talking through this Jesus thing. I said, but I'm so tired that I feel like it's worshiping a man. It's like an idol. I'm worshiping two gods. I don't understand it, but if this is true, help me understand it. And I will do the prayer now. And don't be offended if this ain't true. And I'm talking about Jesus, So c'était vraiment comme, I wasn't like, oh, dear Lord. It was just, I was talking. I was like, listen, I'm like, and I said it and my life changed. It really, I'm deeply flawed, but massive transformations happened. Like my life was out of control, Just a minute.
Parce que moi, j'ai vécu exactement. I live the same thing than you, man. I make a spirituality path, but without a religion. And the only thing I understand for everyone is God is inside us. En français, souvent, en spiritualité, ils vont parler du soi supérieur. I don't know say that. I self, le soi supérieur, I self.
Higher self.
The I self. The higher self. So j'ai fait la même démarche. Moi, ma vie aussi, elle a changé complètement. Il m'est arrivé des expériences. J'ai compris plusieurs trucs comme l'amour, les énergies, les chakras, comment ça fonctionne, qu'est-ce qui m'entoure. C'est exactement la même démarche que tu peux faire. C'est juste que moi, je ne l'ai pas faite par le biais de la religion ou du christianisme. Mais on arrive exactement au même résultat. Et comme tu dis, all this diversity, everyone can bring something to the other. So we have to have a different thing of what we say, what we see. You have to share with other what you understand, and you give the chance to the other to receive the seed and begin to start a path.
Yes, it's perfect.
Yeah,
because you have to speak our truth, and without saying like I'm gonna try and convince this guy. So it's a completely horrible energy. If you've seen some of my live streams with one person trying like I can prove and it's like like it's anxiety. I mean, I stay calm, but I was doing that a lot, like all throughout it. But then at one point I learned that it's not you that saves people. You spread seeds, like you said, like that's what you said. You spread your truth, spread your seed. And if it's truth, God will make it grow if the person's soil is in the right spot. So I started realizing, like, oh, okay, so I don't have to convince anybody. I'll speak my truth, and hopefully I think it's true, and God will do what he wants with it. So I'm not saving anyone, especially Christians. Initially, I have to save people. You're like, no, they say, preach the gospel. That's it. They don't believe you, turn around. You don't have to like
preach your heart. Preach your heart. Yeah. We have the brain to intelligence in the brain, and you have intelligence in the heart. And no matter the way you take to express your art minding, if I can express myself like that, no matter the way you take it, so if you are true with yourself, you never be wrong. And people in the side, when is ready to receive that, he's gonna receive it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts though about like? Go ahead. Do you have something to say, Legend?
No, go. Legend.
Yeah. But basically, what I'm saying is like, yeah, we definitely have to plant the seeds. But the thing is, not everyone wants to be saved. But it's basically, I remember a street preacher. I think his name was called Jesse something, I forgot, but he preaches and he also says like, okay, if you don't tell people like what you're doing is destructive in God's eye, then it's basically like walking like your neighbor house is on fire and you're walking on the street and you see your neighbor's house on fire and you see like flames burning and like, you see it burning and you just walk away and say and don't do anything about it. It's your duty to say like knock on the door and be like, look, there's literally a fire in your house because of some generator or something like that, and you have to help them. But some people is like, I don't care about your help. I'd rather burn in flames. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to just tell them, like, look, knocking on the door is like, your house is on fire. You need help, and I'm here to help you. And then just like, who's in here to protect you from this burning building? I am here for you. And if I have to risk my life saving people in there, but if you want to rebuke that your house is on fire, then what should I do? Like, I mean, I tried to help you, but then I just simply have to walk away.
Well, that's why, like, if you see, like, when I talk in my videos, if I'm doing a live stream presentation on something, I'm talking differently than talking with other people. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. In my live streams, I am trying to convince, you know, like I'm talking and I'm talking as if it's true, you know. But when I'm talking with other people, because as a Christian, right, think of it, we think that eternal life is only through Christ. If you don't do that, then you're judged and then you die and then you cease to be and you miss out. So what he's saying is, if you're a Christian that truly believes that, then how can you not like tell that person? I'm like, okay, well, I will say that in my videos. I'm not going to go around and Elias, you know, it's like, you have to play the feeling game too, you know. So I'll preach that. That's my truth. I'll preach that during videos, but I have a different way of behaving when I'm with other people, you know.
Preaching by the example. That's what we have to do. Not tell what you're supposed to do. Do it, and let people see what you do.
That's when I was with the Zetetic there. I did. I was preaching by example.
And I would like to preach about the flat Earth the next time you're gonna make a live on it. I've got some proof of the roundness of the planet.
That's fine, because Patrick from OTW News is going to come. He's going to put a documentary, and JD Garland Farms will be there. So if you guys are want to be on, no problem. Listen, guys, I got to let you go because my wife, it's time for bed. It's almost midnight. It is past midnight. All right.
Have a good day, my beautiful brethren, both of y'all.
Evolution one another time. All right. See you guys. Sorry, I totally neglected all of the chat.